Today, I will explain what it means to have good study skills and habits that will positively reflect the student's academic achievement. Everyone has had times in school when they have a test to study for and then you put it off, or perhaps you try to study but it isn't effective. Then you do poorly on the test. A study at Ohio State University compared grades of severe, moderate, and low procrastinators in a study skills class. The worst procrastinators got an average grade of 2.9 on a 4.0 scale, while those who procrastinated very little earned an average of 3.6. This is why it is important to learn study skills. As a student, I know from experience that the methods and techniques that I will go over today are some of the best ways to do better in school. I will first explain a survey and its findings in order to show solid statistics of how studying really works. Then I will go into detail explaining what good study habits are and different ways you can practice them in order to improve academic success. Okay. So first I'll talk about the survey commissioned by the Association of American Publishers. The study, which surveyed 1,800 students at 4-year and 2-year institutions, found that of the 1,800, about half the students studied between 6 p.m. and midnight. This group was at least twice as likely to earn an A as the students who put off most of their studying until midnight. They also found that students who study every day are 40% more likely to earn an A than other students. They found that 41% of the students study every day, and on average, students who study 14 hours weekly, with 24% studying 5 or fewer hours each week, and only 17% of students study more than 20 hours a week. The solution to doing better in school is obvious: just study. But it isn't as simple as just picking up a textbook and starting to read. There's actually a lot involved with practicing good study skills. There are several ways one can practice good study skills. According to psychologist John M. Grohol, when studying, be sure to have a good mindset or attitude towards studying. Ways to practice having a good attitude include aiming to think positively when you're studying and reminding yourself of your skills and abilities. Avoiding catastrophic thinking. Instead of thinking, I'm a mess, I'll never have enough time to study for this exam, look at it like, it may be a little late to study as much as I'd like, but since I'm doing it now, I'll get most of it done. Avoid absolute thinking. Instead of thinking, I always mess things up, the more objective view is, I didn't do so well last time, what can I do to improve? And avoid comparing yourself with others, because you usually end up feeling bad about yourself. Another aspect to having good study skills is to study in a place with little or no distractions, such as a library or student lounge, to help you pay attention to studying and only to studying. When taking notes, a method a student could use to practice good study habits is by outlining their notes. And when writing outlines, remember, is that an outline only works as a learning tool when it is in your own words and structure. This is also when outlining, put similar information together, which is called chunking by cognitive psychologists. Also, to help memorize when studying, one can use mnemonic devices. The key to a mnemonic device is that the new phrase or sentence you come up with is more memorable and easier to remember than the terms or information you're trying to learn. Mnemonic devices are helpful by using more of your brain to remember more visual images rather than remembering a list of items. Using more of your brain means better memory. A good way to help reinforce your knowledge is to take breaks and reward yourself. Many people view studying as a chore or task, and it's normal to avoid it. But rewarding yourself will actually help reinforce what you're doing. The goal of this reinforcement is to change your overall attitude towards studying in a positive manner. In order to practice good study habits, one should divide study time into reasonable components. For example, studying for many hours at a time without breaks is just unrealistic. But studying for an hour, then taking a 5-minute break, and having a snack is usually a more sensible approach. If you succeed in your goals, give yourself a reward, something small, like going out for ice cream. Don't just find a reward that is small but real, and to stick to it. By setting these limits in your behavior, you're actually teaching yourself discipline, which is a valuable skill to have throughout life. The last study skill that I will explain is keeping a planner. An article on about.com explains that the most logical place to write down your assignments is in a planner. But you might prefer to keep a to-do list or in a simple notebook or in your cell phone notepad. It doesn't really matter what tool you use, but it is absolutely essential to your success to write down every single assignment, due date, test, and task. And that's quoted from about.com. So in conclusion, good study habits are very important to achieving academic success for all students. There are still many other important aspects to having good study skills that were not covered today, such as asking questions to your teacher or dealing with procrastination, but the 6 that were discussed were very important ones. Now that you know good study skills are important and what they are, it's my hope that you use the skills you learned today to aid you in your successful college career.